absolutely love that. Just that is probably the best console sort of open screen ever, isn't it? Basically, the GameCube.
I was just about to say GameCube.
I prefer the Dreamcast one though. It's a bit more like just serene. Like.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric. Sort of.
So, hello there. I'm Jake, and I'm joined by Josh.
Hi guys, how's it going?
And we thought we'd do a very special episode. Well, a series of episodes, I guess it's going to be, because
it's definitely going to be a series.
We're going to play through the entirety of Shenmue 1 and 2, hopefully.
Yep.
Because
not all in one sitting, obviously.
No, but I just thought like Shenmue is kind of a special game, really, in terms of the Dreamcast and gaming in general. Hit a lot of milestones back when it was first released.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this was probably, I don't want to say the first greatest game that I ever played, because I played great games before this, but
yeah.
This was, I remember this as distinctly being something that massively opened my eyes to the capabilities of what games consoles could do. Graphically, it was just so far ahead of anything in its time.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay was revolutionary, so it was the first game that I'm aware of to use the sort of quick action command style, what would you call it?
Quick time events,
yeah.
Don't tell Aaron we're playing this.
Yeah. and it did it so well that I would say, other than potentially Resident Evil 4, in fact, not even as well, but maybe on a par, no other game has ever done it as well since.
Sure.
It did it so well. It just felt fluid. It felt right within the game. It just fit the style of the game so well.
Well, I can't agree with you there, because I have a confession to make.
Oh.
And it is that I've never played Shenmue. So this will be my first time playing Shenmue, which is, another reason to do a Let's Play of it.
You guys must be excited for it. I know I am.
But I had a Dreamcast and I loved it, but I was thinking back yesterday at like what games did I actually have for the Dreamcast. I didn't have any games that weren't pirated, which I feel kind of bad about. And the game I mainly played was Sonic Adventure, and I just played that to death. Like I knew every single thing about that game that you could possibly do or
it was a
achieve.
Fun game.
Yeah,
I played the game as well. It was a fun game. Second on it's Choo Choo Rocket.
yeah. And I also had Resident Evil Code Veronica, of course.
Yeah, which was sick.
But yeah, I've actually watched this cutscene many times now because I've got a bit of a story to tell, a tale of woe, if you will, and that is about my Dreamcast, because it basically doesn't run Shenmue. I own Shenmue 1 and 2, but we're having to emulate this basically because my Dreamcast fails to run many discs. And basically I bought a custom Dreamcast with Sonic the Hedgehog on the front. Got it home, ready, excited to play Shenmue for the first time ever.
As you would be.
And yeah, it just couldn't read discs at all. Had to send it back to the seller. And months down the line, he had pretty much cut contact with me and wasn't responding to like my messages and stuff. And turns out that he's actually done that to someone else I know as well, with a Nintendo 64. So it's not a one-off occurrence with this guy. But yeah, I've since got it back, and it does read Soul Calibur now. It reads Power Stone, and most of the other games I've got, but I cannot get past the 1 hour mark on Shenmue. And the first save game is actually quite a bit into the game, so I cannot get any further by playing it on the Dreamcast.
It's just such a big game, maybe. The Dreamcast the game was too soon for the console.
Can't handle it.
In a lot of ways.
But that leads us in to talk about a bit about this first cutscene, which introduces us to a lot of stuff that video games didn't really have back then. Fully voiced.
Yeah, great, really good, solid voice acting, I would say, as well, throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's, better than most of the stuff we had.
For the time.
Yeah,
for the time,
for today's standards,
yeah.
it's like pretty shit, to be honest. But it has a charm to it, that you can look past it.
And compared to some stuff around at the time, was absolutely...
Oh yeah, like Resident Evil, it was just horrific.
I mean, this would have been what? Code Veronica time, wasn't it? Code Veronica time that this came out.
And Code Veronica didn't have particularly good voice acting,
so that gives you some idea. I think
but to have every single
budget as well, Shenmue. They had a massive actor budget, didn't they?
It had the biggest budget of any game up until this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Which probably contributed massively to the Dreamcast failing horribly.
They blew it all on this game. But
basically,
it was definitely worth it.
I'm surprised they even could make a Shenmue 2 with all the money they spent on this. But I guess Sega had it had a good few years, before this happened.
It's kind of, for me, the Dreamcast, it's a little sad actually that it never...
Definitely, yeah.
It never really did take off. I would have loved a Sega console to have just been a third sort of main contender in the console wars.
Yeah.
It would have been, one of two, basically, back then.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have had the Nintendos, the PlayStations and the Sega, because this is pre-Xbox, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been so nice to have Sega chucked in there just for a nostalgic point of view. All the old Sega systems I just absolutely loved. It was so promising, the Dreamcast. Everything about it sounded like, wow, this is this could be incredible.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it just never...
It was incredible on every level apart from sales.
Yeah,
that's
sales,
the only
really bizarre. Because
system specs, stuff like that. It blew the PS2 out of the water.
It's strange,
I think
how the gaming. I think a lot of it is down to timing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For Sega, and I think they timed it almost mid-generation, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
When I think if they could have just got their act together a bit sooner and released it a little bit sooner, it might have been a different story. But I think a lot of people already had their eyes on the next PlayStation and things, and it just they didn't time it very well, unfortunately. Which is a shame. It is a shame. But it brought us these little nuggets of fantastic gaming like Shenmue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look at this right now. It's just pure cinema, this. And that's another thing it does really well.
Should we talk about the fully orchestrated and recorded score as well?
Yeah, there again, another massive budget in terms of the music.
And that's another thing that no game had ever done before, and stuff like the CD. PlayStation had snippets of sampled audio and stuff like that, but never a full soundtrack's worth of completely, recorded score.
Yeah.
So do you want to take over? Because I've played this, a million times recently, and I actually know exactly who to talk to first to progress the story. So.
Wow, it's been so long since I've played this. Yeah. I'm going all modern first-person shooter style controller here, trying to use the right analog too much. Aim my gun.
Your son, you should still be resting.
I'm fine, really. And you? Are you all right?
Yes, but I must keep busy, otherwise I'll get depressed.
I understand. But you needn't work too hard.
This is solid voice acting. I mean,
By the way,
this is not half bad.
I have this for you. This is for today. Tomorrow, I'll leave it on
$10,000 he's got in his pocket here.
I'm pretty sure that's yen. It's probably about 10p.
Really? Thanks.
I don't know whether the Japanese economy was... when's Shenmue set, do you know?
90s, I think.
90s, right? Well, I guess, yeah, that was when Japanese economy was taking off, wasn't it?
Yeah, without doubt, yeah. Technology kind of made a lot of the...
Shenmue inspired Yakuza in many ways, and that is my favourite game series now. So that's another reason why I was desperate to play this game, and thought that it would be a good one to do a let's play of.
I haven't played the Yakuza, at all.
That's because you've got an Xbox.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Weird how Shenmue HD is coming out on PS4 and Xbox, but I'm pretty sure Shenmue 3 is only coming out on PS4.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I mean, it might only be for a specific period of time.
which is rather upsetting.
Yeah.
But hopefully, well, you never know, maybe Sega, maybe they might go down the same kind of routes as some other developers are likely to do now, in shunning the PlayStation. Because of its lack of cross.
I don't think there's going to be any cross-platform capabilities in Shenmue 3, to be honest.
Shenmue Online.
L1 is run, by the way, in case you didn't feel like slowly walking everywhere.
That man.
So yeah, when I played this before, I kind of got the impression that it was kind of like point and click, more like a point and click adventure without the point and click.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of just like talking to people, finding out what they know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so. It's got a lot of that element to it.
But then there's the innovations, of course, of having it with a real-time sort of clock.
Yeah.
Day-night cycle, that kind of thing.
Yeah, real schedules that you have to stick to.
Yeah.
You can only get so much done in a day.
Please don't. Look what they did to Hazuki-sensei. They killed my father right in front of me. I will have my revenge.
Call of a revenge plot.
Oh, yes.
For my father.
Yeah, I think it seems like the idea behind is it L1? It's not L1.
Maybe R1?
Yeah, L1.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the idea behind the game really was to create like something that had a cinema style realness about it.
Yeah.
Like following a story, whilst merging kind of The Sims with an action fighting game, because it's got that real Sims like factor to it where you feel like you're part of this person's life. You're actually living a life.
Yeah.
Certain stuff that you have to do later on in the game, in particular, like it's very much like you have to follow a normal day, and you can't just go off doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to.
Yakuza has that to an extent as well, like having to eat to restore health, stuff like that. And I think this game has it to an extent, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to eat and stuff. And
Perhaps they're out.
And I just love that, how you can go around knocking on doors. And I'm sure depending on what time it is, people will actually be in and stuff.
I want to ask you something. Yeah? What is it? That day, did you see any men wearing black suits? That day? No, I didn't see them. I see.
clearly he's being paid not to say anything.
Is that how you're going to play this? You suspect everyone?
Yeah.
See ya.
They're all in on it.
Noriko. About that day.
That day? The day of the incident. I heard about it from Nozomi. It must be hard for you.
No, I'm fine. Did you see any men wearing black suits that day?
No.
The guy's still like,
He's
still talking.
He's clearly trying to sign to Noriko in the background.
Don't
not to
say anything. Yeah, don't say anything.
Please don't say anything. We'll kill us all. Come on now, Rio. Let's get running.
Hey,
Hi, what are you doing?
nothing really.
Some solid voice acting there. See what this lad's on about.
Hey, mister! Let's play baseball!
Let's not.
Some other time, okay?
See, in Yakuza, you would actually be able to play baseball with him.
Yeah, it'd be like a mini game. Let's have a look, let's knock on this door. Police,
Perhaps
open
not.
up. Oh, there we go.
Did you know there's actually a time limit to the game as well?
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah,
No.
it's very hard to like reach it. Obviously, you've played the game before. You probably haven't, you know, reached that point, but there is actually a time limit.
No. I wonder why.
I'm not sure. It might be something to do with a specific plot element. You know that something happens on a certain day. You know.
Yep. See, the other day, when it rained, a car ran over her mommy.
Do you think it could be linked to like the capabilities of how much they could cram into the game at the time? So it had to be limited to a certain number of days in effect.
Well, if everyone has a schedule, then yeah, that would be the case. Because unless you repeated that schedule, then like games like Elder Scrolls, they just have a repeated schedule for everyone, depending on what day of the week it is. But I think in this game, it really does depend on what day you speak to people as to what they're doing and where they are and stuff. Which again just blows my mind because, you know, it was like
To be able to develop
PS2 sort of era, and there's not really any PS2 games that manage to do something like that.
not that complex, no.
Think she's hungry?
Is stealing someone's shrine offering.
Dried fish fried tofu. Let's have a bit of that, please.
I think you had to pick.
Oh yeah, I did.
You chose to give him the tofu.
I don't think he's going to like that much, is he?
Hungry.
Should have gone with the dried fish.
Definitely.
There's
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't want this.
It wasn't clear there that there was a choice to be made.
No.
I thought the name of the meal was dried fish fried tofu. It's a classic Japanese dish.
well, when I think of a good one, I'll let you know.
The map system's really good in this as well. Because there are just maps around the town. Like there would be.
Yeah, so you can just follow directions.
Yeah.
See what these birds are saying.
Oh, hello, Dio.
That day of the incident, did you see some men dressed in black suits?
Black suits? No. I didn't see them.
Definitely acting.
Did you
Oh, nothing worth mentioning.
Oh,
I'm looking for anything at
no,
all.
I didn't see them.
The weather was
Yeah.
awful.
You can
Very
see,
guilty.
You can see the red laser dot on back of the right. One wrong word and that's it. Bang. 55 caliber straight to back of head. Wouldn't that be an interesting plot?
So,
So we've got a new note. I like this as well. That you kind of, depending on who you talk to and things that you learn.
Yeah, it
takes
sketches out the notes,
for you.
yeah.
So you can't lose track of what's going on because
Yeah.
with it being quite a complex game and like a lot going on and free roaming.
Yeah.
I often find free roam games that don't have a good system like this, it's easy to lose track of what you were even doing.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just lays things out really nicely with this. So we need to find Samia-san.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not that woman that she's talking to. Well, I should have just said, just talk to this woman.
Well, it could be. I mean, you could talk to her.
Now, if I remember correctly.
I love this.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, should we have some?
Yeah, sure. Might as well.
Maybe just one.
Or two.
How many yen was it?
Didn't say actually. She's not ideal, is it? What if it were 10,000 yen?
This is cool.
Look at this. You can check this out. It's like a little action figure type thing.
I think it's from Actua Fighter, isn't it?
Jackie 1.
I should try again.
What?
No. We don't want another one.
I'll pass.
I'm pretty certain I don't know if I'm remembering this incorrectly,
Hey, mister! Wanna play with me?
What?
but I
See you
think
later, okay?
that these little toys and things like that, you can actually use them
At
for
some
certain
point in
things
the game. Yeah.
Not things that are integral to the game, but little side quest type things that you can give it to some kid or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You get something for it, that kind of thing.
Hey,
Hi, mister! Let's play baseball!
Jesus, why does everyone want to play baseball around here?
I think Rio's a very popular guy.
Yeah, there's not even any room to play baseball there. You're going to end up putting someone's window through, and then what'll happen? Are we thirsty?
Yeah, I guess so.
Apparently we are.
He has just woken up and he hadn't had any breakfast or anything, so...
I think a soda would go down well, don't you?
Sure. Jet soda.
Yeah. Not a fan of cola. I do like cola bottles. Bloody hell, it's midday already. Let's get a crack on it, don't we?
Yeah.
Gotta go home for lunch soon. Whoa, it's fizzy that, it's burning your throat.
ah, good.
It's damn good, that jet soda. Let's get a crack on now.
So I was going to say, like, from what I've heard so far with the game, it seems like whoever was directing the voice actors actually knew what he or she was doing, because a lot of like Japanese games with English voice actors, if they're pronouncing the Japanese names, like you definitely get some people going, "Hey Ryo," and stuff like that. But you can tell that they've been like, "No, it's pronounced Rio. You need to say that every time, because otherwise it's going to be weird."
Maybe they had like what's going on now? Maybe they had like people, I'm guessing they had like the Japanese sort of developers or someone working between like with the voice actors.
Oh, yeah,
and had
definitely.
to brief them on stuff. For some reason, it won't let me change pages here. But, so we can look at this map.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think it'll tell you where that person is, though.
Samir?
Oh, yeah.
Samir,
Is
son?
that? I guess that'll be a house.
Yeah, it's only a little village map. Everyone knows everyone around here.
Yeah. It actually says the names of the people who live there.
Right, so we got to go like back round here, I guess. I think it'll back round here, won't it?
Yeah, up on the map will be where it was facing, won't it? So
Yeah, and then round here was it?
there are several maps around, so
And then up here.
that's going back where you came, I think. Is it? Oh no, maybe not.
Thought it might be this house.
People have nameplates. Oh yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it's Samir-san.
On the day of the incident, did you see some men in black suits?
In black suits? No, I didn't. But I did see a cat, though.
You mean a black cat?
Yes, it was run over by a car. A kitten was crying nearby. I also saw little Megumi crying with it.
I see.
So Megumi was hiding stuff from
That's
us.
it.
Unusual about that day?
Now that you mention it, Yamagishi-san took a terrible spill at the corner by the park. He was trying to dodge a speeding car. Looked as if he hurt his back. I
Oh,
think
again,
it was
somewhere
the
here.
same car that hit the cat. It must have been going really fast.
That was likely the Yakuza. So let's
So sorry. I have to go now.
okay,
I
so
see.
now. Why are you not going now?
Bet she done.
Why is she lying? She's very suspicious. What reason did she have to lie there?